So first off, let's start with the names. You call yourself Marique? Is that your real name?
No, Marique is a concept. It's the vision behind the personality behind Drogbeeld.
How did the band originally come together?
He's always been wanting to have a female vocalist on a lot of his songs, and I've always been too scared to perform. It's taken him about this long to persuade me to join the band.
Where did the name come from? And what does it mean to you now?
Brick is a deeply tortured individual. She struggles with nihilism, existential dread. She doesn't know why she's here, what the purpose of life is, but more importantly, she struggles with severe depression, and depression distorts reality, just like a drogbeeld. It's like looking through a broken mirror, a drogbeeld hallucination. So that's the idea behind the name.
Was there a specific moment when you realized, okay, this is something real?
Well, we don't even know if it's something real yet. We're just going with the flow at the moment.
What was your first gig like?
Honestly, we haven't played live yet, but we are working on some stuff. We're probably going to be putting together, as you can see here, it'll be a bit more of a performance-based concert. But we are working on something.
How has your sound evolved since those early days?
The early days, I started with Chemical Prophecy. The Heart of DK was just an instrumental album. I did it all in Ableton, VSTs, played everything on keyboard. Second album, I started adding rap. And now we formed Drogbeeld, which has got a female vocalist. Still a similar sort of process. I start with the piano and everything builds on top of that as we discover the song.
Do lyrics come first for you or the instrumentals?
He normally starts with something instrumental. We have an old piano that he starts all of our songs on, and that's where it sort of evolves before he steps into the studio, working on concepts. And then when we step into the studio, that's where the lyrics sort of evolve a little bit. When we actually start singing them and performing them, that's when some of the adjustments will come in, and you start adding your effects.
Right.
What themes do you find yourselves coming back to in your music?
Mental health is a big thing for us. That's probably, if you've listened to our album, you can probably see that that's almost featured in every single one of our songs.
Severe mental struggling, anxiety, depression, panic, even going to the depths of hallucinations, confusion. Just somebody deeply tortured by their own psyche.
How do your personal experiences or cultural background shape your sound?
I've been living in South Africa my whole life. You spent 6 years in London.
Yeah, I lived in London for a little while, and I absolutely love the music scene there. So I used to see a lot of concerts and shows and musicals and bands. I think that maybe has touched a little bit on some of our influence.
Right, and I think you'll hear my South African accent in some of the rap songs. Not necessarily cultural, but Melanie reads a lot of fantasy books, and I think some of those elements come into play.
Yeah, I mean, you can see
Especially on the video side of
the
things.
music videos for sure.
The video process is big work. A lot of green screen, a lot of 3D, a lot of CGI, but also we do use artificial intelligence for backgrounds and things like that. You'd be crazy not to use modern technology for this sort of thing. But
It speeds up a lot of work.
it does. And so, since we're two members, very often you'll see one of us a couple of times playing different instruments, wearing a green suit or wearing a mask on top of a green screen and then reshooting it. And a lot of times I'm the drummer, the keyboard player, and the bass player, and the guitar player in some of these songs. That being said, we are expanding the band. We are putting together a live show that is going to take some time, but hopefully within a year we can do something there.
Yeah.
Do you think your music fits neatly into one genre, or do you blend styles?
No, I don't think we've got any genre. As soon as I'm done with the song inside and it comes out here, it shapes into whatever genre works for that piano piece that I've played.
Are there any non-musical influences, like films, art, or literature, that inspire your writing?
I think everything shapes you. Everything you've ever seen, like Fight Club. I mean, you might not hear the words in there, but just the idea of that materialism and the nihilism, things like that. I think deterministically your entire life is shaped by by various concepts in movies and books and just all of it, but it's all wrapped into this persona of Marik that is a deeply tortured soul. So you take
And
bits
we
and
created
pieces.
Drogbeeld.
Exactly, yeah.
Why isn't there much media about the band online?
Drogbeeld is still quite a new band. Like I said before, he's had his previous band's name was Chemical Prophecy, and that was just a solo gig. You did everything. He did everything on his own. And so now with Drogbeeld, I'm part of it now, and we are still experimenting. Really, this is why we haven't put much media out there until we actually started releasing our songs.
Yeah, and it all came so quickly that we haven't even had time to put up a website until very recently.
It was all quite
Yeah.
a bit of a shock.
Do you use artificial intelligence?
With that question, what do you mean when you ask that question? Do you use artificial intelligence? Do you mean the kick drum, the snare drum, the piano, the guitar, the bass guitar, the samples? Do you mean the lyrics? Do you mean the singing? Do you mean the mixing and mastering process? No, we've been using samples forever. There's a lot of stuff is now computerized. What we do is we write the complete song with vocals, everything. Then we give it to machine and artificial intelligence and say, add some more arpeggiators, polish this, and mix and master it. Because the mixing and mastering process is an actual pain in the ass. It takes forever. My first album took 5 years to release, and the second one 7 years because of this painful process that has actually got nothing to do with creativity and everything to do with making your song as loud as possible so that when you play it on the radio, your song is louder than other people's.
Definitely speeds up the process.
Speeds up the process. So yes, the final result is run through AI, and there will be AI fingerprints all over it. But all of the creative work that goes in there is done right here in the studio from start to finish.
The next album, though, is going to be a lot more.
Right, the first album, there's a lot of machine, and what I mean by it is if you hear a guitar, it's played on the keyboard right here. If you hear a bass guitar, it's played on the keyboard. With the new album that we're going to release, everything guitar, if you hear a guitar, it's an actual guitar. It's not
He's
just
playing this. Yeah.
playing. It's not just VST guitar that I play on the keyboard there.
And finally, anything you can share with us from the new album?
I'll play a short little clip for you, or a short little piece on the keyboard here, a new idea that I came up with on the piano. Just before that, I'll just say the new album is going to be a lot darker than the first one, and contain a lot more orchestral elements.